Hey Maya, did you know coal comes from plants that lived millions of years ago? It's crazy how we use it for electricity and making steel.
Yeah, and petroleum is even more interesting. It's formed from tiny marine organisms and gets refined into petrol and diesel, but it can cause oil spills and other environmental problems.
Exactly. That's why renewable energy like solar and wind power is so important. We need to move away from fossil fuels to protect our environment.
Absolutely. Learning about coal and petroleum really shows how critical it is to find cleaner energy sources. Let's explore more about it. Hi everyone. Welcome to our YouTube channel Ask Prep. In today's video, we are going to discuss about coal and petroleum, so let's get started. Introduction to coal. Coal, a black or brownish black rock, is one of the most important fossil fuels. But what exactly is coal, and how is it formed? Coal is formed from the remains of plants that lived and died millions of years ago, primarily in swampy forests. Over time, these plant remains were buried under layers of sediment. With heat and pressure, these remains gradually transformed into coal through a process known as carbonization. Types of coal. There are different types of coal based on the carbon content and the amount of heat energy they produce. The main types are peat, lignite, bituminous, and anthracite. Peat, the initial stage of coal formation, containing a high amount of moisture and low carbon content. Lignite, also known as brown coal, it has more carbon than peat but less than bituminous coal. Bituminous, a common type of coal used for electricity generation, with higher carbon content and more energy. Anthracite, the highest grade of coal, with the highest carbon content and energy output. Uses of coal. Coal has been a crucial energy source for centuries. Let's look at some of its primary uses. 1. Electricity generation. Coal-fired power plants generate a significant portion of the world's electricity. 2. Steel production. Coal is used as a raw material in the steel industry. 3. Industrial fuel. Coal serves as a fuel for various industrial processes. 4. Domestic fuel. In some regions, coal is still used for heating and cooking. Despite its widespread use, coal has significant environmental impacts, including air pollution and greenhouse gas emissions. This brings us to the need for cleaner energy sources. Introduction to petroleum. Now, let's shift our focus to another crucial fossil fuel, petroleum, also known as crude oil. How is petroleum formed? Petroleum is formed from the remains of tiny marine organisms that lived millions of years ago. These remains settled on the sea floor and were buried under layers of sediment. Over time, with heat and pressure, they transformed into petroleum. Petroleum is a complex mixture of hydrocarbons, and it needs to be refined to obtain useful products. This process takes place in oil refineries. Refining of petroleum. Refining petroleum involves separating it into different components through a process called fractional distillation. In fractional distillation, crude oil is heated, and its components are separated based on their boiling points. The main fractions obtained are LPG, liquefied petroleum gas; petrol, gasoline; kerosene; diesel; lubricating oil; paraffin wax; bitumen. Each of these fractions has specific uses. For instance, petrol is used as fuel in vehicles, kerosene in lamps and jet engines, and bitumen in road construction. Natural gas. Along with petroleum, natural gas is another important fossil fuel. It is found alongside petroleum deposits and is a cleaner energy source compared to coal and petroleum. Natural gas primarily consists of methane and is used for cooking, heating, and electricity generation. It's also a key ingredient in the production of fertilizers and chemicals. Natural gas burns more cleanly than other fossil fuels, producing less carbon dioxide and other pollutants. Environmental impact and conservation. While fossil fuels like coal and petroleum are essential, their use has significant environmental consequences. Let's explore these impacts and the importance of conservation. Burning fossil fuels releases greenhouse gases, contributing to global warming and climate change. It also results in air pollution, affecting human health and ecosystems. To mitigate these impacts, we need to conserve fossil fuels and transition to renewable energy sources. Here are some conservation strategies. List of conservation strategies. Energy efficiency. Using energy-efficient appliances and reducing wastage. Alternative energy. Promoting solar, wind, and hydroelectric power. Public transportation. Encouraging the use of public transport to reduce fuel consumption. Recycling. Recycling materials to reduce the need for raw material extraction. Conclusion. In conclusion, coal and petroleum have played a pivotal role in shaping modern society. However, their environmental impacts necessitate a shift towards more sustainable practices. Embracing renewable energy and adopting conservation measures will help ensure a healthier planet for future generations. Thanks for joining us today. We'll continue making these knowledgeable videos for you in future. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe.